I'm Clive Barwell. I'm an accredited member of the Society of Later Life Advisors. I've been in financial planning since the early 1970s, and I now consider myself to be one of the leading financial planners in the later life market. With care fees, government policy is quite clearly moving in the direction of making everybody pay for their own care because of pressure on NHS budgets, because of pressure on social services budgets. There just isn't the money to pay for someone's care. So care fees planning is so important because all of my clients who have a family of their own are keen to leave some sort of inheritance, and care fees in the future are likely to make a bigger impact on that than any taxation may ever do. There are two really common questions that people ask me about care fees. The first one is that people have an instant reaction when they're thinking about care fees to start giving their assets away, but they've heard about deliberate deprivation and they want to know whether what they're planning on doing could be termed as deliberate deprivation at some point in the future. The other question that I'm really regularly asked about is when somebody goes into care and their pension income is nowhere near sufficient to cover the cost of their care, and they need then to make up that income from their savings and investments, possibly even the proceeds of sale of their home. And that's where my advice is sought the most. For people who are paying for their own care, they will have some income of their own already, generally from pensions. They will probably be entitled to benefits like attendance allowance. But if there is then a shortfall, it's a question of finding out where that shortfall will come from. Often people will have sold their house and gathered together all of their lifetime savings, and they can either place that money on a bank account and just top up their income from that money and hope that the money doesn't run out. The alternative to that is to use some of that money to buy a special form of annuity called an immediate needs plan, which will top up the income and guarantee to maintain that top up for the rest of the individual's life, however long that may be. One of my clients who lives down south decided to go into a care home because she was struggling to maintain an acceptable standard of living in her flat. The care home that she selected cost £1,000 per week, so she needed an income of £52,000 a year, but her pension and benefit income was only £20,000 a year. When we'd sold her flat and gathered together her lifetime savings, she had about £300,000 available to her, but of course that wouldn't last long at the rate of degradation that we're talking about, especially because she could have easily lived for at least 10 years. So this particular client decided to buy a specialist annuity that would top up her income and guarantee to pay her care for the rest of her life, meaning that she could stay in the care home that she'd chosen and not be reliant on social services to pay for her care at any point in the future. If you've got a question about care fees, either in terms of advanced planning or if a member of your family is going into care and you're struggling with a question about how to pay for it, then please get in touch with me either by telephone, by email, or by completing the form that's on my website.